Your attention to the pit area, please. Drivers in Pro Nitrous, Pro Boost, and Pro Stock. We have a 7:30 drivers meeting in the Media Center. Pro Nitrous, Pro Boost, and Pro Stock. You have a drivers meeting in the Media Center at 7:30, which is, well, about 5 minutes. So you're going to make your way over there if you're not already there. Once again, Pro Nitrous, Pro Boost, and Pro Stock. 7:30 drivers meeting. Top Dragster and Bracket Bash. Final call. If you are not in the staging lanes, you need to be there if you're wanting to make this run. Top Dragster, Bracket Bash should be in the lane. Final call for you if you have not made this session. Diggy Smith 004 and 441 159, 436 161 there on the right side. Your attention to the pit area, please. Attention to the pits. Top Sportsman. Qualifying session number 1, lanes 1 and 2. Top Sportsman. Q1. Staging lanes 1 and 2 at this time, please. 009, 440, 157 miles an hour, 433 and 161 there. Tyler Rudolph, 424, 166 in the Derek Wolf Trucking American Race Car. 443, 157 there on the left side. Once again, attention to the pit area, attention to the pits. Q1, Top Sportsman, lanes 1 and 2. Qualifying session number 1, Top Sportsman, you've been called to staging. All right, a little track prep underway, and then it will be time for Q1 here this evening. Top Sportsman, you've been called to the staging lanes. Top Sportsman lanes 1 and 2 are open for you.
When you want proven performance, there's one brand that's been around since 1938. Edelbrock, building the finest American-made performance products for the street and the track. Edelbrock's Total Power Package delivers dyno-proven parts for maximum results. Edelbrock has thousands of made-in-the-USA performance products for all makes and models. Visit Edelbrock.com to get your free Edelbrock Performance Catalog and to check out the latest products we have for your ride. At Classic Graphics, we're a one-stop shop for all your silk screening and embroidery needs. We've been a leader in the motorsports industry since the mid-'80s, producing everything in-house at our Southern California location. Our facility can print up to 1,000 shirts an hour, and our 3 large embroidery machines are capable of handling all of your apparel needs. So if you're in need of top quality silkscreen t-shirts, whether it's in 1 color or 8 colors, hats, golf shirts, or embroidered jackets, give us a call or send us an email, and we'll work with you to exceed your expectations. Liberty Skiers is your elite manual transmission specialist. From street stock to pro mod, their in-house machine shop gives them the advantage to make sure their customers are getting the best possible.
Check them out on the web at www.libertyskiers.com or at 586-469-1140.
Tree Motorsports and the rest of the racing team would like to say thank you. The rest of the PDRA team for providing us safe and amazing places to race. Thanks to all the sponsors of PDRA for helping make this season possible. We also want to thank Mark Smith Racing, Cherry Picker Race Car, and Transmission. today. Davis Technologies. For 25 years, we've been the leader in traction control, unparalleled tech support, multiple world records, and never-ending training in speed. Patented software, a simple interface, and proven results make us who we are. And always engineered and made in America. Imitated but never duplicated. Davis Technologies. The only the best we do. For 2021, Chesson has turned its focus on sportsman racing with replacement Sportsman steel tires providing an affordable upgrade for the early morning. With an ideal wrap replacement for Chesson's early morning, with a reflector-resistant steel tire, you can save value manufactured from a premium heat-treated steel alloy with a flat outside coating, providing years of dependable service. These walkers are the perfect choice for
Stratford, Ontario, Canada comes the 1971 Duster. From the Ohio Cat side, 645 cubic inches for Jeff Gable. He'll look across the racetrack and eye Bad Eye Brinegar. Cole's home in Middletown, Ohio for the Performance Clinic powered 706 cubic inch power plant. A 2003 model Mustang of Brinegar. Bad Eye 035 reaction time, Summit Side scoreboard 4:21.6, 171 miles an hour for Bad Eye Brinegar, 440 to $160 for Jeff Gable. Your next pair. The Junior Ward left side in the Nova. And here comes the Mustang out of Cynthiana, Kentucky for Cheyenne Stanley. Turbocharged, powered Mustang for Stanley. Paving industry for Parker Paving and your Ward. A good Virginia. 1967 Chevy 2. 632 cubic inches of bow tie, nitrous fed horsepower. Will be on the left-hand side. Ward goes towards the center line, brings it back, and it's going to be a 390 elapsed time. Cheyenne Stanley, 200 miles an hour, 443, 162 for Ward. And that is going to be a good run for Cheyenne Stanley into the threes. Next up, Tommy Brown, the Virginia-based Brown Line Construction 2012 Camaro. Back to the starting line. Charlie Buck horsepower. Horse out of Illinois. The auto body shop owner. 872 cubic inches for Tim Papp. Horsepower to the Nesbitt Performance Shop. Barker Max Tuning. Tim's going to be on the Summit side. Final purge of the nitrous there for Tommy Brown. He waits as Tim Papp pulls up alongside. Battle between the bow ties. Corvette and Camaro, they turn him loose. Papp starts to pull ahead. And how about 383, 192 the speed for Tim Papp tonight. As Tommy Brown's going to go 396, 185. That's going to put Brown number 3. Tim Papp goes to number 1 right now here in Top Sportsman qualifying. Your next pair. Left-hand side of the racetrack, the Columbus, New Jersey 2010 Pontiac GXP. For Al Davidowski and Mark Reese is going to be coming back to the starting line and the right side. The Mustang from Dinwiddie, Virginia. Longtime competitors here at Magna Fuel Top Sportsman, presented by our Racing Engines and Corbin's RV. Up here in Q1 tonight. Let go off the top and turn it green. 19 to a 43. Better at the starting line. Davidowski first to the finish line. Al Davidowski, 424 to 166. 429 there for Mark Reese. They're going to be number 5 and 6 right now. Your next pair. And over there on the Summit side, the Rockford, Illinois Camaro at 903 cubic inches for Troy Finner and Caden Wick. The Stratford, Ontario, Canada, K&K Racing and Performance Dodge Stratus. The electrician at 30 years old. Caden Wick. That started out PDRA Pro Stock quite a few years ago. Found its home in Top Sportsman. Caden set. Troy Finner starts to bump in. Lights the stage bulb left-hand side. And here we go. Side-by-side drag race to the 660-foot mark. Troy Finner is going to run 424. 434 there for Caden. 163 miles an hour. Battle between the red Chevrolet Camaros for TNT Motorsports in Brentwood, New Hampshire. Summit side, here comes Nick Maloney at 665 cubic inches. The Pit Stop Auto and Truck Center, Nesbitt Performance Powered Machine. Chassis itself came out of Jerry Bickle Race Cars, and Dwayne Gallagher is going to be alongside. Cedarville, Ohio for the HVAC technician. Year Run Investments sponsored. 68 model Chevy at 728 cubic inches of Charlie Buck horsepower. Gallagher is in it. Maloney set to go. And Dwayne's fighting the car a little bit early on into the run. 417 the end result at 172. Nick Maloney's going to go 430. 164 the speed, and he let go to be perfect. Back here at the starting line. Look at that, the 1958 Nash out of Synergy Composites. One of our neighbors to the north, West Goddard, 510 cubic inches. Turbocharged power. And Mike Badia, Thaddeus Cutlass, the Oldsmobile out of Milford, Michigan. Longtime runner here in Top Sportsman with that very race car. Wes Goddard, we always see him on tour here in Norwalk at the PDRA World Tour here in Top Sportsman. Goddard's made some good runs in testing that we've seen earlier in the day. Problems for Wes Goddard at the starting line, and Mike Thaddeus is going to go to the other end at 440, 159 the speed. 555, 128 the numbers there for Wes Goddard. He's going to have to go back to the drawing board for Q2 here at Magna Fuel Top Sportsman. Two heavy hitters here, Bruce Thrift and Jeff Pittman. We look over here on the right-hand side of the racetrack. The Conover, North Carolina Racing Performance Motor Coaches, RPM team. 768 cubic inches of buck horsepower there for Jeff Pittman. You look across the racetrack and you see the Color Me Gone Pontiac GTO of Bruce Thrift in Waycross, Georgia. Base machine, chassis engineering, and part racing engines for Bruce Thrift. Three drivers have been into the threes so far in the category. Bruce Thrift potentially is going to be number 4. Thrift will pull away. He's 008, and there it is. Bruce Thrift going 3.881, 191 miles an hour, 410 at 178. Jeff Pittman's going to follow him through, so that's going to put Thrift to number 2 right now. Tim Papp still holds on to the top spot currently at 383.0. Your next pair, Pete Ignatovic and Brian Warner. Hubbard, Ohio, comes tomorrow's auto service. 68 Camaro for Brian Warner. From the Ohio Cat Lane, Pete Ignatovic for Abruzzi Transmissions in Boardman, Ohio, where he calls home. The orange, the Camaro as well. Ignatovic is set. Brian Warner's inning. Let's go, and turns it green. Problems. Well, Pete Ignatovic tried to get it all the way to half track, and it was popping and banging. 595 at 79 miles an hour. Brian's going to go 434, 145 the speed, so that's going to slide Warner in the number 13 spot currently. Kyle Lang will go out and take a look at the racing surface just for a moment. Your next pair. Waiting to start things. Boyd Byer, Ronnie Dodson back there at the water box currently.
We drive tech. We drive the industry, going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech everywhere.
Welding, pumps, regulators, filters, fueling champions.
So the nitrous-fed Pontiac and the supercharged Mustang of Boyd Byer, he's going to counter some issues, and Ronnie Dotson goes the other end tonight at 442, 160. Byer coasting on down at 791. Ooh, boy. Next pair, Chris Osborne, sure to get the car across up at the burnout. It's Chad Traylor. Shorten his burn up as well as that 63 Corvette. Started to turn a little bit sideways. The service rider out of Virginia. Called the car the Orange Crush. Wow. Chris Osborne, the engineer. Pack Racing Springs, excuse me. 598. Keep the gauges underneath the hood scoop of the black Chevrolet Camaro out of Michigan. Chad Traylor, number one on the side of that Corvette, right side. The champion here in the PDRA, Chris Osborne. We see him make a few races from time to time with us. Good to have him here this weekend. Oh, problems right away for Osborne. You see the car knock the tire off and start to turn right. And Chad Traylor is going to go at 423.5, 170 miles an hour after letting go 16 green. Now the burnouts are underway. Your next pair. Summit side, Brian LaFlamme, the Gilbert, Arizona-based 1967 Ford Mustang. With the Hemi, a beautiful race car. Big stuff, total fuel management. Partner on the side of that machine. Horsepower to YO Motorsports. And Ron Biondo, local runner here to Summit Motorsports Park, calls home in Macedonia the 94 model Lumina at 665 cubic inches. So Ron Biondo is in. There goes Brian LaFlamme. Pull it away to the other end. Watch the Summit scoreboard lighting up at 386. 199 miles an hour for Brian LaFlamme. Ron Biondo at 421, 173. That is going to put LaFlamme number 2. Tim Papp still holds on to your top spot currently by 0.03 of a second. Wow. Used to seeing Ken Langlois behind the wheel of a Corvette, but he's campaigning the 92 Cutlass, the Oldsmobile, at a mile in Michigan there on the left side this weekend. Transmission, Jacob Elrod, full-time runner here at Summit Motorsports Park, the Elrod family. A lot of history there, Bluffton, Ohio, where he calls home. A 540 cubic inch supercharged Chevrolet in the Corvette. Good run on a Jacob Elrod. How about 430 this evening? 170 the speed. Ken Langlois going to trail him at 465, 152. They're going to be number 15 and 22 there in qualifying. Elrod, good to see that car make a clean run. Struggled beginning of the season with it. And now Gary Kentz and Chris Wheatcraft. Good looking car there, that Demon out of Jamestown, Ohio. Chris Wheatcraft, Indy cylinder heads. 500 inch power plant. And Gary Kentz, that Pontiac GTO, the fabricator of Windham, Ohio. Inside the T&K Performance Transmission Kent shop. Partners there. Chris Wheatcraft, 14 thou red and 440, 158 the speed, as Gary Kent's going to be a little quicker, 434 to $163. How about Mike Alexander, the excavator out of Mechanicsville, Virginia. Walking Tall Garage, the green 63 Corvette. Looking race car there. Alexander Jr. behind wheel. Senior down there. On a looking Fox body Mustang. Currently on file. CompuLink timing system. One of the non-traditional cars per se here in Top Sportsman that you're going to see throughout qualifying. So they're on the Summit side. Mike Alexander, 417, good run, 174 the speed, 459 this evening at 162 for the Mustang. That is going to put Mike Alexander Jr. in the number 7 spot currently. Your next pair. Big block and small block time. Look over there on the right-hand side, the Waynesboro, Virginia Cavalier for Mark Payne. That is the small block runner. The Ohio Cat Lane. And Summit side, Scott Wasco, Columbia Station, Ohio for the Pontiac GXP. Scott Wasco, a longtime runner here to Summit Motorsports Park. some success over the years. Behind the wheel. With the Pontiac there on the left-hand side. Mark Payne was contending for a world championship here in PDRA Top Sportsman. Look at this small block. How about 411? 179 tonight for Mark Payne. Gets there first. Scotty Wasco at 423, 171. That's going to put Wasco number 13. Payne climbs to number 7. Now you've got your former national event winner on tour, Dan Germano. Was home in New York for Royal Purple Oil. That's the 1968 Camaro. Our racing engine, 706 cubic inch Chevrolet. And Dwayne Silence. Silence Service Center, the business owner of Jacksonville, North Carolina. So quite a few Top Sportsman cars still to go in category here in the opening round of qualifying tonight. So far, 32 drivers have been down. Here in Magna Fuel Top Sportsman. $17,000 red for Germano. Silence, how about 002? 396, 186 the speed. Dwayne Silence makes an A to B run down the summit side. 423 for Dan Germano. The Dwayne Silence, top half the field tonight, number 5 right now. Now if John Schmidt goes A to B, see that orange Camaro on the left-hand side, a top contender. From Orchard Park, New York, comes the 2014 bodied Camaro of John Schmidt and Mark Fleeg. Fleeg's 63 Corvette, Night School of Welding, in Crestwood, Kentucky. They trip up north this weekend here to Norwalk. Well, unfortunately, John Schmidt's problems are going to continue here, and it's going to be in round 1 of qualifying. We've seen him have some issues in testing today. 426 there for Mark Fleeg tonight at 170.06 miles an hour. The Ohio Cat scoreboard lights up green. And as soon as we get John Schmidt off the racing surface, 2 more drivers in category will take their shot at the 660-foot race course here in Magna Fuel Top Sportsman. So how about Seth Garrison and Ronnie Proctor here on the starting line? Proctor's Mustang out of West Virginia for the heavy equipment operator, and that Dodge Stratus for Seth Garrison. 11 thou red in 467 at 152. And Ronnie Proctor, his wife Karen, is going to get there at 422, 168 miles an hour. And without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you tonight here at America's Racetrack one of the great voices of the PDRA, and PDRA Live, in fact, Scotty Gore. And
I'm still not giving you that $30, but just
yeah,
the
you owe me a
build-up.
lot more than $30. I can tell you that. I've probably, between how much money I've lost to you and your son, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I try to talk you out of playing them, but you know that's how it goes sometimes.
Oh, I'm trying to get better in cornhole.
I think he'll be like, on a walker.
And anyways, Brian Tiff on the starting.
Brian Tiff, right-hand side of the racetrack, the Schween Motorsports 2020 Corvette, Charlie Buck horsepower underneath the hood scoop, 941 cubic inches. M&M transmission, Schweitzer Dynamics, and Mark Smith Racing on board this Dr. Gary Schween-owned machine.
I'm not the boards this week. I'm just letting you know.
Can't wait. At least I know I'll make more money this weekend.
What, than me? Yeah, I'll lose my paycheck this weekend. Good run for Brian Tiff. How about 388, 195.42 miles an hour. He was 19 green, and that's going to put Brian Tiff into, I believe, the number 4 qualifying spot. Tim Papp, number 1. Brian LaFlamme is number 2. Bruce Drift's 3. Brian Tiff's 4. Cheyenne Stanley is number 5 at 390. So far, we have 7 drivers in the 3s in Top Sportsman qualifying. We're about to add another name to that list.
Larice Motorsports, Top Dragster. Top Dragster, we need you to stage in lanes 3 and 4, please. Larice Motorsports, Top Dragster. Presented by Greenbrier Excavating and Yance RV. We need you for Q1.
That Instant Karma Racing. Duster over there on the left side out of Kentucky, I believe. Well, hold me to this. Mike Troth is actually behind the wheel.
And Derek, you talked about that Fox body Mustang being a little different body style than the average Camaro that we see in this category.
Shorter wheelbase.
That Duster over there, that's a good-looking piece.
More of the original body style, per se. It's not all stretched out. Bunch of work done to it, but yeah, anything, it is Mike Troth, in fact. So anything that comes out of the Instant Karma Racing stables, folks, is absolute works of art. Their cars, what I would compare to, Bob's Profab. I mean, just those two names on building race cars and assembling them are second to none. Attention to detail is very prevalent. And Tim Molnar, a guy that has made quite a few laps here at Summit Motorsports Park, goes into tire shake and clicks it off. Mike Troth, 15 green and 446 tonight, 160 miles an hour for Troth. And Molnar was going to coast to the other end at 661. Fortunately, got a little racetrack and chatted to the tires early there.
All right, our next pair completing the burnout process, left side of the racetrack, Dennis Gaborio out of Millbury, Massachusetts. The factory built 07 Mustang for Redline Oil and Precision Turbo in the Lumina here on the right-hand side.
Oh, hold on, Dennis Gaborio. What a driving job there. Summit side, 437. 177 miles an hour. Gaborio's car. It was sashaying very early on into the run. And the Lumina, 445, 161. The Luma. Yeah, that's a new one. It's newer than what the Lumina was.
All right, our next pair, right-hand side of the racetrack, Gary Wojnarowski, the 09 Cobalt. Aaron Glasser, left side of the racetrack out of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, the two-face 69 Camaro.
Your attention to the pit area, please. Top Dragster. Top Dragster, you've been called to the staging lanes. Top Dragster, you have been called to the staging lanes, please. For Q1.
Brian Stoltz, left side of the racetrack at a New Lebanon, Ohio, the 69 Camaro. Mighty Joe Young. And Trey Garrison here on the right-hand side out of Shelby, North Carolina, the 70 Duster for All-Ray Tire Center.
Oh, tire shake. You can see the rattle there in Troy Garrison's rear window of the Alray Tire Center Duster. Thing was chattering hard, and he was 329 red. Brian Stoltz, 415, 172. Smoking like a freight train down there as well, but Brian Stoltz in the number 10 spot. A lot of white smoke. Been doing that most of the day.
That'll bring up Stacy Hall here on the right-hand side of the racetrack. The 63 split-window Corvette out of Spartanburg, South Carolina for Fulton Competition Race Engines, Maxima Oil, and TM Race Cars. And Bob Mandel Jr., left side of the racetrack, the Tennessee Base 55 Chevrolet out of Bob's Profab.
How about Bob Mandel Jr., the car getting litter line stripes up at 426 and 168. Stacy Hall, 4.206. 172 the speed. That's going to be good for number 13, Mandel. They've had some issues in testing. That elapsed time is going to put him number 24.
This is a pretty cool matchup coming up here in first round of qualifying. Kevin Brandon on the left-hand side of the racetrack. Out of Gaffney, South Carolina, the Rabbit 1969 Camaro for Ivy Hutto Golf Carts, Maddox Race Cars, Fuel Tech, Fuel Factory, Mickey Top Trailer Ranch, and Mike Wag here on the right-hand side. Out of Troy, Ontario, Canada, the 37 Chevrolet.
Yeah, what I love about Mike Wag's car, if you think back, well, you're about my age, in your 30s, back to the early 2000s. For the super. I'm pretty. Sportsman.
That you could get when they sold the Super Chevy Nitro Coupe diecast cars in stores years back. So, a cool piece that WAG was able to get a hold of. Glad to see him here this weekend at Summer Motorsports Park. Jamie Fowler,
Karsten Erge is going to wait their turn as we are out checking the racing surface. They're on the Ohio Cat Lane.
So all clear on the top end of the racetrack. We're ready to get back underway. Jamie Fowler and Karsten Nyerges. Nyerges left side of the racetrack out of Warren, Ohio. The Schween Motorsports 2000 Firebird with the Charlie Buck horsepower. Abruzzi Transmissions and Mark Smith Racing on board that machine. And Jamie Fowler here right-hand side. The Pimpin' and Limpin' 69 Camaro out of Chester, South Carolina for PD Fleet. LAT Racing Oils, NGK Spark Plugs, Advanced Prosthetics. Gopher Utilities, JR's RV Repair, and Yonts RVs. Fowler, a 3-second player. Winner on tour last season. Got the win at Darlington Dragway. Trying to pick up another 660 man here this weekend. Fulton horsepower underneath the hood scoop, 903 cubic inches.
Karsten Nyerges, Jamie Fowler squaring off here in top sportsman qualifying this evening as the sun begins to set here at Summit Motorsports Park. Karsten Nyerges, 7th thou red. Fowler pulls away, 391, 191 miles an hour. 441, 164 there for Karsten Nyerges, Summit side.
Bruce Barth next up, left side of the racetrack, the Michigan-based 03 Grand Am, and Barry Daniluk here on the right-hand side out of Mooresville, North Carolina, the 68 Camaro. 970 cubic inches for Daniluk. Here on the right side, 632 for Bruce Barth. Issues for Daniluk early on. Bruce going to make the trip left side. Going to stop the clocks with a 4:52.2 at 1:57. Barry was dead late, and then just something happening to his machine here on the right side. But put Bruce in the number 45 qualifying position so far. 56 cars have taken time. Killer Brooks, left side of the racetrack out of Youngstown, Ohio, the 90 Cavalier for Tri-Area Electric. And Gary Grainer here on the right-hand side out of Akron, New York, the 63 split-window Corvette.
So the Cavalier out of Youngstown. Killer Brooks, Summit side, takes on Gary Grenier's Corvette. Grenier's black 63 split window, 864 cubic inches. Brooks, a long-time runner here at Norwalk over the years. You think back all the way to the IHRA days. Makes quite a few stops on the PDRA Tour the last couple seasons. For Tri-Area Electric. Call the car the Predator. Brooks is 028 and gonna go A to B. Cardinals moving around out there. 458, 144. Didn't sound like it shifted either. 798. Gary Grenier had his own set of issues in the Ohio Cat Lane, and only 55 miles per hour.
Dave Burchell, left side of the racetrack, Canadian-based GTO for FD Power. Gino's Napa Auto Pro and anything stainless. And Bill Yates here on the right-hand side out of Newark, Ohio. The Bob's Pro Fab built 68 Camaro. Bill and Angie been at this a long time. Just had that car totally redone if it's not a brand new build. Out of Bob's Pro Fab. Beautiful machine here on the right side of the racetrack. Yates going to stop the clocks with a 4:25 with a 9 at 173 miles per hour. 4:61.4 for Dave on the left side. Put Bill Yates in the number 26 qualified position so far. Burchell, number 49.
I saw the baby doing sign language. Nerves.
So Dan Ferguson will bring the Dean Young Motorsports Camaro to life here on the right-hand side on a single pass. Dan out of Harrisburg, North Carolina. 903 cubic inches underneath the hood scoop of this machine.
Dan Ferguson recently, seen on social media, purchased Dodge Viper. Used to belong to Lee Harper back in the day, so he is getting that machine ready for competition, but still doing the driving duties, calling the shots here on Dean Young's Camaro. They're going to go 392 tonight, 192 miles an hour for Ferguson. That is going to put him number 7, top half the field in Top Sportsman.
So now we made the jump into Larice Motorsports Insurance Top Dragster, presented by Jan Sarvey, Greenbrier Excavating, Zach Papp. The left side of the racetrack goes a 463 at 148, and Austin Brown here on the right-hand side. 440 at 157 for his machine to start us off. Richie Allen, left side out of Kilmarnock, Virginia, the 23 Race Tech, and Tony Fagnelli here on the right-hand side out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the 2019 Miller chassis. Richie Allen, 001 letting go, 005 for Tony here on the right side. 412 for Richie Allen, 445.3 for Tony Fagnelli. Nick Maloney, left side of the racetrack out of Brentwood, New Hampshire, the TT Motorsports. Pit Stop Auto and Truck, Nesbitt powered Dan Page chassis. And Will Kreisman here on the right-hand side out of Asheville, North Carolina, the CNC Chemical. Sam and Dave's Auto Sales, Par Racing Engine, 07 Race Tech. Maloney lets go to be perfect. Left side goes a 428-2 at 161. 427 with a 6 for Kreisman here on the right side at 164. Matt Parlett right side out of Mechanicsville, Maryland. The Computech 2014 Miller for VP Race Fuels. And Uncle Rodney Pryor left side driving the House of Pain Performance 2011 Racecraft. Par Racing Engines. Mickey Thompson, FTI, Holly, MSD, Turbo Smart. On board that machine for Pryor. To the top in this pair goes 428 with a 1 for Rodney Pryor to 163. Parlett 438, 1 at 160. Rich Yakos on the right-hand side out of Cambria, New York. The Matrix Machine, 2018 Mike Boss chassis. And Casey Ingram, left side. The Full Throttle Truck Center's 2020 Miller chassis for PSI Superchargers. Cohen Engineering and Hoosier Tire. Casey came to race number 1. It was your number 1 qualifier on the elite side of things. Won a 360-something, I believe. So keep your eyes on that machine left side of the racetrack. Casey out and gone. 009 reaction time. He'll go number 1, 367.7 at 200. Which goes 17. Katie Lip from the side of the racetrack at the Mountain City Road Track 2020 race. Katie misses the tree, but gonna make the run. Chris Brown. Lucas going to stop the clocks with a 440 with a 2 at 157. Howard Michael, 465.9 at 145. Alan O'Brien backs up on the left-hand side. The Greenbrier Excavating 2022 race check. W03 LLC, Barry Allen Race Engines, Mickey Thompson, Weaver Automotive, PTP Racing, AMC Power Plant between the frame rails of that machine, and Mark Romanofsky at a Hilton, New York, the 2020 M&M chassis for Vortex Superchargers. O'Brien on a good run, 384.4 at 191. 388 for Mark Romanowski on the right-hand side. Nick Hamilton looks to be having some issues there on the left side, maybe. Frank Falter here on the right side from Mount Airy, Maryland, the Candyman 2022 Miller chassis. Hamilton got to figure it out. Does a short burnout. Canadian Race Engineering on board Falter's machine. Two elite players here. Hamilton left side, Frank Falter on the right. Falter 374 with a 1 to go to the number 2 spot. 388.3 for Nick Hamilton on the left-hand side. So Falter goes number 2, Hamilton number 5 by 1 thou. 367, 374, 384, 388.2, and 388.3. Your top 5 qualifiers so far early on here in Larice Motorsports Insurance. Top Dragster presented by Greenbrier Excavating and Yonts RV. Robert May, right-hand side of the racetrack out of Kinsey, Alabama. The Covenant Steel 24 racecraft for Pilcher Automotive. And Tom Martino back out here on the PDRA Tour out of Youngstown, Ohio. The Martino Motorsports 22 Maddox chassis. Lucas Oil, Salt Life, Mickey Thompson, NGK, Sonic, Strange, and Rossler transmissions on board his machine. Martino 388.5 at 187 miles an hour. Robert May has some issues here on the right-hand side. So put Martino number 6 with that 388. Frank Brank left side of the racetrack. The Bullseye Firearms Gun Vault 23 American chassis. And Chaz Silence here on the right-hand side out of Jacksonville, North Carolina for Silence Service Centers. And Cameron's Torque Converters, the 21 Race Tech. Chaz is 2 red, 428.7. Frank Brank, 459.1. Michael Sullivan, left side of the racetrack out of Peabody, Massachusetts. The Maldine Machine, 2013 Undercover. And Troy Wonderboy Williams here on the right-hand side out of Warrenton, Virginia, the Nesbitt-powered 2010 Miller chassis for Hoosier Tire, House of Pain, Weaver's Transmissions, Team W Motorsports, Finish Line Racing Fuels, and Killer Ron's Fuel Systems. To the top end they go. Troy Williams going to go a 4:36 with a 6 at 157. 4:38.0 at 158 for Michael Sullivan. Put Troy in the number 13 spot so far early on. Sammy Helms, left side of the racetrack out of Locust, North Carolina, the Midland Engine Machine, 2012 Horton. And Blake Peevler here on the right-hand side out of Olney, Illinois, the 2013 American chassis.
So Blake Peevler, quite the name for himself in top dragster. To the NHRA side, he's 021, 377 tonight, 193 miles an hour for Peevler. Problems for Sammy Helms, the car that has stayed there just on the starting line. Crew reaching down inside. Kyle Lang, our starters, that has pointed him on, and this is your qualifying run. And we'll find out what Helms is going to do. They're going to just push him back off the starting line. The car seemed like it really wants to roll. But Peevler with that run at 377 at 193, going to be number 3 in the category. So Casey Ingram, Frank Falter, Blake Peevler, Alan O'Brien, Mark Romanowski. Nick Hamilton, Tom Martino, Richie Allen rounds out your top 8 in the category currently. There was over 80 drivers in the top dragster category trying to qualify here this weekend. And Scotty, I'll tell you, I mean, Ohio has always been known to have very strong top dragster and top sportsman fields. I mean, it generates back, you got to think, in the NHRA sportsman ranks. Division 3 collectively has always, for many years, been the fastest division. And this translates right over here to PDRA. When we come into Ohio and Michigan, especially, we see some of the fastest categories in top sportsman, top dragster, the fastest fields per se.
And it even put the fear of God in some of our drivers because they bolted on some extra stuff this week before coming up here.
And there's guys that don't always run on every stop, but they make 2-3 races a year with us.
Right.
And they've got really fast cars, so it changes up the normal qualifying order. And then you got to think back to qualifying points. And if you're going to make, if you're normally an elite guy and you don't make the elite field, that's a huge hit point. So
absolutely.
A lot of factors rolling into our races here up north.
Brian Anderson, right side, out of Carson, Virginia, the 23 race tech, and our most recent winner on tour in the category. Chad Traylor, left side, out of Providence Fords, Virginia, the power-powered 22 Maddox for VP Race Fuels, Mickey Thompson Tires, House of Pain, APD, and WTG Automotive.
13 thou red for Brian Anderson, and 379, 191 miles an hour on the Ohio Cats scoreboard for Brian Anderson. Chad Traylor, 425 at 164. That's going to be number 10 right now. Anderson climbs to number 4 here in qualifying tonight.
Mallory Logan next up, left side of the racetrack. Not on file here on the right side.
Logan's bumping in. She's ready to go. The Texas Roadhouse machine going to be 36 thou red. Mallory Logan, 466 this evening at 147. 437. They're on the right-hand side.
James Albertson, left side of the racetrack out of Wallace, North Carolina. The Jimmy's Garage 04 Race Tech and Bruce Westfall here on the right-hand side. Granville, Ohio, the Angry Grape 2019 Miller chassis. For Outside Edge, JK Upholstery and Clear One.
Westfall, look at that machine go. How about 397? Bruce Westfall. Like it was going to be a stronger run than the lapse time just came up on the scoreboard, 190 miles an hour. Westfall's has got that car running significantly better than what we've seen at the first race of the season. Really struggled down there. He's got a car that is an elite player for sure. 430, 163 there on the left side.
So, Derek, we've run 31 cars so far, 9 of them already in the 3-second zone. Our next pair up, Dale Foss, left side out of Madison, Ohio, the 2019 American chassis, and Brooks McMath here on the right side out of Chesapeake, Virginia, the WL Black & Associates 2011 Race Tech for NGK Performance, 660 race car technologies, and a Bruzy transmission.
Brooks' car came up hard on the Willie bar. And Dale Foss going to go 437 tonight, 159 the speed as McMath was uncharacteristic, 393 red, and comes back down to the racing surface pretty hard.
Mike Kopko comes up next, left side of the racetrack, the Steel City Rocket for Kopko's Auto Service. And Angie Travis out of Conover, North Carolina for Hickory Enclosed Trailers, the 2016 Miller chassis.
Good side-by-side drag race. Mike Kopko, 389, 185 miles an hour. 390 for Angie Travis for Hickory Enclosed Trailer Sales. That pair was easy for me to say. On to the next one. Help me, help me, help me.
Tom Reese, left side. The T&K Automotive Services, 99 undercover. Francis Engineering Engines and Snap-on Tools. And Danielle Gonzalez here on the right-hand side out of Wallingford, Connecticut. The 2023 American chassis.
Tom Reese to 17 green. There goes Danielle Gonzalez to a 3:93 elapsed time. 184 miles an hour. Tom Reese is going to go 4:31 here at 160. That's going to put Danielle Gonzalez in the number 11 spot. Top dragster qualifying right now. The Elite 16 spread is from 367 down to 428. That number's obviously going to change significantly as we continue on here in round number 1. Qualifying tonight. Still a lot of fast machines to come.
Tony Billett, left side of the racetrack out of Boardman, Ohio, the Billett Landscape. 01 Mike Boss chassis, and Gabe Miles here on the right-hand side for KD Production out of Elgin, South Carolina.
So Boardman, Ohio's Tony Billett piloting the Mike Boss chassis. Hardtail summit side, Gabe Miles for KD Production Team out of South Carolina. And Tony Billett times out. He does not get staged in the allotted amount of time. Gabe's going to go 4:35, 162 miles an hour. Billett will not get an elapsed time here in Q1.
Next up, Nick Shirkey, left side of the racetrack, and Patrick McMath here on the right-hand side. McMath out of Chesapeake, Virginia, WL Black & Associates 2017 Race Tech for NGK, Abruzzi, and 660 Race Car Technology. Shirky on the left-hand side at Ridgely, Maryland, and Nyasack Marine 2018 Race Tech. .441 for Patrick McMath. Nick Shirky stops the clocks with a 4:65 at 1:47. Next pair up, Art Cioffi, left side of the racetrack out of Campbell, Ohio, the 09 American. Beautiful machine left side. And Brian Keller here on the right-hand side out of Macedonia, Ohio, the KB Trailer Sales 2012 Spitzer for Centerless Grinding Solutions. Brian Keller's trip zip 375 with a 2. Art Cioffi 453.0 was 20 going by the tree at 156 miles per hour. Put Brian Keller into the number 3 spot. So now the top 13 cars in the 3-second zone. And possibly 2 more sitting here at the starting line. Tisha Wilson, left side, past world champions across the board on this one because Kellen Farmer's on the right side. Kellen out of Graham, North Carolina for Team Race Tech, FTI, Strange, and Hoosier. Tisha Wilson, left side of the racetrack out of Salisbury, North Carolina, running for Greenbrier Excavating, the 2023 Race Tech for Barry Allen Engines, PTP Racing, W03, and Premier Concrete Solutions. Side go to the top end, 378.4 for Kellen Farmer. Both drivers, 004 going by the Christmas tree. Farmer stops the clocks with a 378.4 at 194 to put him in the number 5 spot. Tisha Wilson runs a 4 flat with a 7 at 175. Put her in the 15th qualified position. 15 car in the 3-second zone. Craig Addis, left side, RB Trucking, 21 Spitzer chassis for Kings of Vapor and Summit Racing. And Tony Elrod here on the right-hand side out of Howell, Michigan. The Mr. E's Auto Sales, a Bruzy Trans, Hoosier Tires, Bazell Fuels, Pro Charger, American Race Cars, and NGK Spark Plugs on board this machine.
Your attention to the pit area, please. We have a Summit Racing parts call. A Summit Racing parts call. We have a junior dragster racer in need. Logan Vitez is in need of a junior dragster push bar. If you can help out junior dragster competitor Logan Vitez, he is in need of a push bar for his junior dragster. Craig Addis pulls over towards the wall, Summit side, as Tony Elrod goes 391.3, 185 miles an hour. So Craig Addis is just coasting down there, as he encountered issues early on into his qualifying run.
Charles Caricia, left side of the racetrack out of Asheville, North Carolina. The Curtis High-Tech 24 next-gen chassis for line-to-line coatings, FAR racing engines, and next-gen race cars. And Tim Antonori here on the right-hand side, the New York Moment 2011 Antonora chassis. It looks like we will be paused while we get the machine moved off the top into the racetrack.
So the engines come back to life. Tim Antonora and Charles Caricia. Caricia's next gen old race car out of North Carolina. Caricia 037, Summit side. How about 380 tonight? 193 the speed. Tim Antonora at 429, 168 is going to trail down the Ohio Cat Lane. That's going to put Antonora number 24. Caricia is going to go to number 7.
Steve Taylor next up here on the right-hand side of the racetrack, the 2014 Diamond chassis. And Kyle Harris, left side out of Beaufort, Ontario, Canada, the 2015 Horton 00 Permits and Services, Harquip Hartman. Fast Eddie Racewear, Atchison Machine.
Kyle Harris, how about 380 for the Beaufort, Ontario, Canada Mountain Tire team. Taylor's going to go 490 to 146 for the number 47 spot.
Patrick Forrester, left side of the racetrack out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the 2014 American chassis. And Robert Pickens, Elyria, Ohio, the Pickens Metalworks 07 Pickens chassis.
Pickens. 378.5, 198 miles an hour. Patrick Force is going to go 386 here at 188.
Nicole Zuccarelli, left side of the racetrack out of Falls Church, Virginia. The 21 KKC chassis for Oakley Motorsports. And Ricky Molnar here on the right-hand side of Seville, Ohio. The Gym Attachments 2016 American for ARC gases and Albert Racing engine.
So we've seen Tim Molnar come up earlier in Top Sportsman. Go fourth the run after he chattered the tires. His wife, Ricky, trying to qualify in a very competitive Top Dragster field already. Molnar is set. Zuccarelli's in. The tree comes down and they are out and away. 3 thou red for Ricky Molnar, and she will run 4:28. 4:35 for Nicole Zuccarelli at 161.
Ashley Strickland, left side of the racetrack out of Harrisburg, North Carolina, the DC Fleet Service 2017 American chassis. Past world champion here on the right-hand side, and Dickie Smith out of Waldorf, Maryland, the Mazier Products, Cool Shirt System, Hoosier Tire, and Computech Machine.
Yeah, Ashley Strickland, 407. Had some issues, 184 miles an hour, and 443, 150 for Dickie Smith.
Tyler Rudolph next up on the left-hand side out of Hemlock, New York, the Derek Wolf Trucking 2010 American chassis. And Shannon Roberts here on the right-hand side out of Greenville, South Carolina, the Roberts Equipment 2010 Race Tech.
Shannon Roberts, Tyler Rudolph. 002 to a 114. Tyler Rudolph, 422 here at 165. 431 with a 6. 166 the speed for Shannon Roberts.
Well, Michael White, left side, having some issues, does the burnout, comes to a stop, and then just can't get it to back up. So he's going to abort mission here in Q1. So that'll put Larry Roberts here on the right-hand side at Lawrence, South Carolina, the Roberts Equipment and Repair 2016 Race Tech. Past world champion here in the PDRA. He'll be on a single pass.
Making sure we are on the top of the racetrack. as Larry Roberts is going to be on a single run. Michael White's car did not go into reverse. Some issues, and he had to motor on down to the other end. Watch the scoreboard, 3.873. 187 the speed for Larry Roberts. And that will take him the top half of the field. Should be actually number 12, bottom half player. So a very stout field we have seen. And Larice Motorsports Insurance top dragster tonight in the opening round of qualifying. 367 down to a 389, your top 16 so far.
All right, looks like track cleanup just about to wrap up. The hazard lights are on the tractor. That means he's on his final lap. So just about ready to get back underway here at Summit Motorsports Park. All right. Racetracks are ready to go. Our next pair completing their burnouts.
All right, so here comes Travis Coangelo, Summit Side, Port Clinton, Ohio, for American Race Cars and Abruzzi Transmissions. And Joe Gary, McCarty Auto Parts, South Carolina-based American, 003 to a 26. Better at the starting line, Joe Gary, 436, 157 to Travis Coangelo's 450, 152 charge.
Stacy Hall, left side of the racetrack out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Fulton Competition 2024, brand new, all carbon fiber American chassis. And TJ Harper out of Harrisonburg, Virginia, here on the right-hand side for Kenny's Auto Mart, the 2018 Race Tech.
How about Stacy Hall? He's 008. Left-hand side of the racetrack, 434 to 9, 156 the speed for Stacy Hall. TJ Harper's going to go 443 at 155.
Al Miller comes up next, left side of the racetrack. Brookall Gary on the right-hand side, having to be pushed back. So it doesn't look like Brooks going to make the trip. Al Miller going to be on a single run. The Chester, Maryland base, 2013 American chassis. I'm sorry, Miller chassis.
So Al Miller on a single run, 441. Here's the elapsed time, 157 the speed.
Paul Peterson left side. Ryan Sparks here on the right-hand side.
Ten to a 14, and Paul Peterson. Suffield, Ohio is going to go 442, and Ryan Sparks 439, 157. That's going to put Sparks 45. Peterson to number 50.
Got to run quicker than a 389 with an 8 to get onto the elite side of things. Ivy Brandon, left side of the racetrack out of Jessup, Georgia. The Ivy Hutto Golf Carts 2017 Maddox. And Max Butcher here on the right-hand side of the racetrack for Butcher & Sons Demolition.
Max Butcher, 12th thou red. Ivy Brandon's going to be 53 green, 431. 158 for Ivy. 442, 156 there. Max Butcher down the Ohio Cat side of the racetrack tonight.
Derek, we're going to take a little step back in time here on this next pair. Jim Curtis on the right-hand side out of Middleburg Heights, Ohio.
This comes from more your era.
This is BS is what I call it, before Scotty, okay? Jim Promozic Sr., left side out of Highland Heights, Ohio, the Precision Hot Rod Shop. Two cool-looking pieces here on the starting line.
All right, so Jim Promozic, Jim Curtis, side by side, a little front engine dragster matchup here in Larice Motorsports Insurance. Top dragster qualifying. .440 here, 159 miles an hour for Curtis. 432, 163, Jim Promozic gets down. Number 37 and 49 in qualifying.
A couple more backing up from their burnouts. Got to go quicker than a 389 with an 8. You can see the number on the scoreboard to get onto the elite side of things. And Steve Furr looking to do that right here. Left side of the racetrack, the Red Rocket out of Harrisburg, North Carolina, 2013 American chassis. For Wright Trailers, Hoosier Tire, VP, Mosier, and Parr Racing Engines. And Russ Whitlock here on the right-hand side out of Moxville, North Carolina for Sunrise Tire and Hoosier Tire, the 2014 Race Tech.
There's a good side-by-side drag race. How about 383 for Steve Furr tonight? 189 miles an hour. Russ Whitlock follows him through 385. They're going to be number 10 and 12 in qualifying.
And that'll put Nick Hamilton in the number 16 qualified position A 388 with a 3. Tyson Fabish, left side of the racetrack. The Mike's Restoration Service, 2018 Race Tech. And Justin Kirk out of Kermit, West Virginia, here on the right-hand side, the 2014 American Chassis.
Yeah, you can hear something. Justin Kirk, it sounded like the car was kind of missing out there. 439, 157. Tyson goes 398, 181. That's going to put Fabish number 23. Justin Kirk assumes the number 50 spot.
Obata Al-Balushi here on the right-hand side.
Bob Al-Balushi is going to go 445 in the American machine, 154 miles an hour. So that will conclude round number 1 of qualifying in Maurice Motorsports Insurance Top Dragster for the evening. We want to go over tomorrow's schedule a bit. So tomorrow morning, we'll open gates at 8 a.m. Tech opens at 8 as well. And at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, we will kick off qualifying in our junior dragster categories. Also, we want to announce that the Summit Side spectator entrance will close 15 minutes after racing here tonight. So they will close that at 10:30. And pit vehicles are only to be operated by licensed drivers 16 years or older. So Summit Side gate will close at 10:30, and we will be on track tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to kick off qualifying in junior dragsters.